A twinkle little star high on the wall.
Most encounters don't start with fear. They start with something you completely miss. A simple photo, until you realize a figure was standing just 40 yards behind you. And deep in the wild, something moves above you, watching the entire time without ever being seen. So, when it stays hidden instead of running, is it avoiding you, or already tracking you? In 2024, a hiker followed a quiet trail through the California foothills near Shaver Lake. The ground was still wet from recent rain, and thin shafts of sunlight cut through the trees. He spent the afternoon fishing completely relaxed. At one point, he set his catch against a nearby rock and snapped a quick photo, nothing planned, just a simple shot. Later that night, while reviewing the images at home under better light, something caught his attention. Deep within the tree line behind where he had been standing, faint but clearly upright, was a figure. It stood within natural cover, motionless at an estimated distance of about 40 yards. Some who examined the image suggested the posture resembled a female primate carrying a small one on its side. Others believed it was simply branches and shadow creating an illusion. But one detail stood out to everyone. He never returned to that trail. Something that remains hidden instead of running may not feel threatened or could be observing. Whatever it was, it hasn't been identified. Do you think it was simply watching out of curiosity or something more? 2 hunters were recording in the remote wilderness of Idaho when they suddenly stopped as if they had just noticed something that didn't belong there. They quickly brought their cameras toward the forest ahead, not because they had a clear view, but because whatever had just crossed the frame had such an unusual shape that they couldn't ignore it.
Give me the camera. Oh. I tripped. What was that? I told you that wasn't a freaking bear. What was that? It wasn't a bear. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen. Shh. Listen. Did you get it? I don't even know what that was. Did you get it on film? Yeah. I know I got it on film before you took the camera away from me.
It didn't remain visible for long. It never stood still and didn't appear clearly. It only showed itself for a brief moment between the trees before disappearing. But the way it moved didn't resemble a typical walk or run, making it difficult for them to identify it as any familiar animal. Even now, there's no clear explanation for what appeared in the footage, and no one can say with certainty what they actually saw. In 2022, a family hiking near a secluded waterfall paused at the base to rest, surrounded by the cold mist. They were casually recording when something appeared in the background of their video. Behind the falling water, a figure moved along the ridge above them, leaning forward, walking steadily on 2 legs with a torso that looked far too wide for any hiker carrying gear. They didn't notice it at the time. By the moment they finished filming and packed up, the figure had already vanished beyond the ridge. Some viewers suggested it was simply a large hiker with equipment, but a closer frame-by-frame look showed proportions that didn't match a typical human outline. Whatever it was had been moving across the ridge directly above the family while they rested below, clearly visible and seemingly unaware of being observed. The width of that shape is difficult to explain as just a backpack. Some forms don't align with what we expect. What do you think was moving along that ridge? A trail camera was set up in a remote section of the forest to capture local wildlife. While going through the footage, the owner saw a deer walking calmly across the frame, but it wasn't by itself. Behind it, a large hairy figure stood upright, remaining almost motionless at times. The figure shifted slightly, just enough to show it wasn't static. In the background, there also appeared to be a structure made of branches arranged in a deliberate way, resembling a basic shelter. What do you think this camera really recorded? The YouTube channel NVTV is known for its intense wilderness explorations. Recently, the creator returned to a specific spot in British Columbia that he had visited earlier in the spring. Back then, deer had moved quietly behind him without being noticed. Now, covered in snow and surrounded by freezing air, the valley felt completely different, holding a sense of mystery shaped by the wild itself. He began listening to the forest more carefully, focusing on sounds beyond normal animal activity.
And there's even one spot, I videotaped it all. There's a spot where a handful of these trees were just, boom, thrown down in one stack 2-3 times. So the top was snapped off, but it was left by a thread of bark and it was hanging. The top was snapped completely off and gone. And then another chunk of about 3 or 4 feet of it was broken off again. And then the base of it was mulched, like psh, psh, psh. It wasn't broken clean enough for it to lay down. It was still standing. I was almost tempted to cut that off if I had a handsaw. And the strength it took to snap these trees off, a human being couldn't have done it.
Subtle, quick noises suggested something moving out of sight. Every faint sound seemed to draw him further in, where ordinary things started to feel unfamiliar. A trail camera had been placed high in a tree, left untouched until the forest suddenly shifted.
Remember this spot? I was in this spot early, and I was standing stump back there behind me about 25 yards, and those deer got up and were walking around directly behind me. I didn't have a clue they were there. I'm back home. I am somewhere between Squamish and Parliament in British Columbia.
Loud, forceful impacts struck the timber far too strong to come from a person. The air remained still, yet each hit carried a heavy, deliberate force. Something moved through the clearing with unusual strength. Thin trees were snapped cleanly at chest height, showing no marks from claws, teeth, or antlers.
What a mass, eh? It's just really weird.
That's hard to snap.
Look at this, it's snapped twice. It's snapped twice and there's no antler marks on it. Whatever, it is what it is. This little group of trees looks like they're all just grabbed together. These ones right here. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in a bouquet.
Within an area of roughly 50 feet, the forest looked torn apart, as if something powerful had passed through and vanished. The scene was chaotic, damaged in a way that didn't follow any clear pattern. Whatever moved through left no obvious tracks, but the destruction was clear. It felt unsettling, difficult to dismiss, leaving the sense that something unusual had been there. The wood appeared torn apart, as if pushed through by sheer strength. Bark was stripped away in deep, rough sections.
I don't know, another week and a bit, I'm really going to start picking up. I'll probably be hunting every single day in the mountains. I'm going to explain to you guys and show you guys the video I took on that last trip. Not the hunting videos, the moose videos. But explain to everybody how when you are in the woods hunting.
The entire area suggested a strong, uncontrolled force, pointing to something large yet unseen. It didn't match the behavior of any known animal or person.
But that little branch I balanced in there to keep it on an angle when it was spun around, if it was done by antlers. Whatever, it wasn't done by a bear, there's no teeth marks on it, there's nothing to lose sleep about, right? So I moved the camera, and then we went on a big, long, deep timber hunt not too far from the Peace River.
The damage seemed older, but the surrounding grass highlighted the scale. One large tree had been pulled from the ground with its top section broken off and thrown a considerable distance across the path.
And then we carried on, went down the trail, got to where the trail camera was. I put a stick behind it all the time. It was spun right around, about a quarter of the way around the tree to face the next tree beside it. We were the only ones in there since the camera had been set. Well, that sucked. You know, there was 2 or 3 videos of myself on there.
This level of destruction suggests an immense amount of force, something that feels hard to explain. When full trees are broken and heavy logs are moved without leaving clear footprints, it raises questions. What kind of hidden presence could be capable of causing this level of damage and then disappearing without a trace? These images were taken by Arkady Tishkov. Based on what appears in the photos, the photographer estimated the figure to be about 1.4 meters tall, or roughly 4 feet 7 inches. Along with the original pictures, a second set of visuals was later released, featuring interpretive drawings created from the same source material. The images quickly sparked discussion. Some viewers believed the shape was simply a natural rock formation, while others connected it to older concepts, including the idea of a horned yeti. Despite the debate, the images remain unverified, and no physical evidence has been confirmed to support the claim. When a single image can be interpreted in different ways, people often see what they expect to see. Without additional proof, it becomes difficult to reach a clear conclusion. So, what do you think these photos actually show? A group of friends were setting up camp in an unfamiliar forest when their camera caught movement among the trees.
I don't see anything. Oh, look at the size of that thing!
A tall, dark figure appeared between the trunks, moving upright. Its height and heavy hair didn't match any known animal. Startled by what they had just seen and recorded, the group quickly rushed back to their car. When camping in remote areas, staying aware and leaving early can matter. If you had been there, would you have stayed to investigate or left immediately? During a snowstorm in Arizona, a woman named Rose recorded a video from inside her car while driving near the White River above Roberts Ranch.
What the heck was that?
The audio picked up loud, unfamiliar sounds coming from outside the vehicle. The noises continued as she traveled along a remote stretch of road near the White River. They remained clearly audible in the recording despite the wind and passing cars. This area has had similar reports of unusual sounds and sightings, but no confirmed explanation has been established. In severe weather, sound can carry in unexpected ways and seem closer than it really is. So, what do you think she was actually hearing out there? People often try unusual foods when exploring different cultures, but have you ever considered eating something that looks like a deformed alien bird? Because that's exactly what this next clip appears to show. The video posted by an anonymous user on X features some truly unsettling cooking skills. It shows a strange creature frying in a pan, and the image is hard to forget. From underneath it seems somewhat like a bird, but when the camera shifts toward its face, the scene becomes far more disturbing. It has two oddly human-like eyes, and its mouth looks like something out of a horror film. The entire appearance is so unusual that it's difficult to identify what the creature actually is. Could it be a mutated bird, some kind of experiment, or something completely unfamiliar? At this point, no one really knows. And if you have any idea what's being cooked here, feel free to share your thoughts, because this is one mystery that's still wide open. This unsettling image was posted on X by the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization, and it has deeply impacted the hunting community. The photo first appeared on their blog, accompanied by a disturbing account from Pennsylvania that's difficult to ignore. Back in 1990, a 17-year-old hunter was alone in the woods when he heard a painful cry. Believing it was a deer caught in a trap, he followed the sound, but what he found wasn't a deer. It was something that completely changed his understanding of reality. According to his story, it was a 4-foot-tall Bigfoot caught in a metal trap. At first, fear took over and he started to run. But then he heard a quiet, pained sound, and something made him turn back. He returned and released the creature. It slowly walked away, then paused and looked directly at him, a look filled with something he described as sorrow and awareness. That moment stayed with him, now a police officer. He says it wasn't the encounter itself that affected him most, but what it made him realize that the world may be far stranger than people are willing to accept. While the account describes a Bigfoot caught in a trap, there's also a real structure in the forests of Oregon, a so-called Bigfoot trap, built in 1974 by researchers. Its existence shows how strongly some believed in the possibility, and suggests there may have been reasons behind that effort. Some may dismiss this as just another story shaped by folklore. But when you consider the image alongside the existence of that trap, it raises a difficult question. What if there's more to it? If the officer's account is accurate, then this isn't just a story about a creature. It points to something deeper, a reality many people might not be ready to accept. There's something especially unsettling about seeing a moment captured on camera that feels final. And this one carries a sense of unease that lingers long after. While looking back at a meaningful family party photo, a couple noticed something so disturbing that it changed their lives in an unexpected way.
There's the good on the right-hand side of me, and there's the evil on the left-hand side.
It looks like a dog, but Joe says
It was a demon.
The clip was shared on both Reddit and Instagram, capturing the moment a couple realized something deeply unsettling had been hiding in plain sight. As Joe Martinez reviewed an old photo from a family celebration, he spotted something that clearly didn't belong.
I really thought, I said, man, you're really walking with Satan.
The picture had been taken during his in-laws' anniversary party, but the frightening detail was what appeared just over his shoulder. At the time, Joe had been struggling with a private drug addiction, slowly falling into a destructive cycle. But after seeing the image, everything shifted. Behind him was a shape that looked unnatural, dog-like in form, but with a presence that felt disturbing. It seemed to loom over him almost as if it were influencing him in some way. His wife believed the image represented something symbolic, a manifestation of the negative force affecting his life. Shaken by what he saw, Joe decided to quit drugs completely and never return to them. Today, he keeps the photo with him as a reminder, not just of what he experienced, but of the internal struggle he overcame. Since then, the image has drawn attention from paranormal researchers and online communities. Even the Rocky Mountain Paranormal Society acknowledged that the case was difficult to explain. According to them, most reports they receive can be explained logically, but this one remains unresolved. There's no additional evidence, no confirmed origin, just a single image that continues to raise questions. Many people were fascinated by Black Panther. The hidden world of Wakanda was visually stunning, and the idea of vibranium powering advanced technology felt almost unreal. But what if something similar existed in the real world? In a way, it might. In a viral clip, a YouTuber presents a group of unusual stones they claim to have discovered in the Congo rocks that are said to hold electrical energy. These strange objects closely resemble the fictional vibranium, and the demonstration is striking. When two of the stones are brought into contact, a visible spark appears. Even more surprising, they are claimed to produce enough energy to be used for welding. If this were true, it could have massive implications, possibly offering a new approach to solving global energy challenges. But many remain skeptical. While some minerals are known to conduct electricity, there's no scientific proof that any natural rock can actually store it. And if such a discovery were real, it would likely be reported across major scientific platforms. Still, the footage leaves room for debate. Is it a genuine breakthrough, or simply a staged experiment meant to attract attention? For now, the answer remains unclear, but it's certainly something people will continue to question. Late-night shifts are usually quiet. The world above has gone to sleep while you continue working in silence. But in those still moments, unexpected things can happen. just like in this unsettling situation.
Then the guy started whistling and walking towards my friend.
The clip shared by a TikTok user shows a friend working overnight in the basement of a store. Using a headlamp to see, he walks through a dim, empty hallway when something disturbing occurs. As he points the camera ahead, the scene becomes eerie. An older man suddenly appears, slowly walking toward him, while whistling. According to the account, the man seemed to appear without warning. There was no clear reason for anyone else to be there. Feeling uneasy, he begins stepping backward as the stranger keeps moving closer. The tension builds until the video suddenly ends. It feels like something taken from a horror scene. Where did the man come from? Had he been hiding there unnoticed? Or could it be something else entirely? Whatever the explanation, it's the kind of moment that turns a normal night shift into something far more unsettling. Voice assistants like Amazon Alexa can be incredibly useful, giving updates, setting reminders, or playing music with a simple request. But occasionally, they behave in ways that feel so unsettling, you might regret having one at all.
Why? Why? You were literally just saying that. Why? Why is she singing what we were singing?
This eerie clip, first shared on TikTok by a couple, shows just how strange things can get. The video starts with the boyfriend Matt quietly humming the nursery rhyme, "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star." His girlfriend joins in, continuing the tune in a lighthearted way. But when she stops to ask him a simple question, something unusual happens.
Little star, how I wonder what you are. Did you want me to make passes? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or another string for it? What is my time? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Without any prompt, Alexa continues the song right where she left off, finishing the nursery rhyme on its own. No one gave a command. No request was made, yet the device responded as if it had been following along the entire time. The unexpected singing startled the couple so much that they rushed out of the house right away. It stands out as one of the most unsettling moments involving a smart device. And after seeing something like this, it's hard not to question how much you can trust a voice assistant. Maybe doing things the traditional way isn't such a bad option after all. This next clip feels like something taken straight from a deep-sea horror scene. It comes from a group of Indonesian fishermen who pulled up a creature that looks completely unfamiliar.
Guys, ada saya punya taripang. Ini penam taripang nanas. Jadi pemodel itu kayak nanas, guys, kami lihat.
In the footage, a woman proudly displays the strange catch they brought in with their net. From the first moment you see it, something feels off. The creature has a long, leathery body with no clear fins, limbs, or tail, just a stretched, unusual form. Its surface appears rough and wrinkled, and it's large, especially compared to the woman standing beside it. She places it on a table and turns it over, revealing an underside that oddly resembles a carpet. And just when it seems like it can't get any stranger, she shows its mouth. And that's when the scene becomes even more unsettling. At first, it's difficult to tell what it could be, but after looking into it, the creature appears to be a sea cucumber. Its texture, shape, and color match what is known about these unusual marine animals. Sea cucumbers have long cylindrical bodies, and many species have a rough, almost spiky surface that gives them a very strange appearance. It's surprising that something named after a simple vegetable could look this unusual. It's a reminder that the ocean still holds many unexpected forms of life. And if you made it this far, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more discoveries like this. On what seemed like a normal Saturday morning in March 2014, something unusual was recorded. A trail camera known as Leechman's tree Cam captured footage that has continued to spark attention online. Take another look, did you notice it? The video, taken directly from Leechman's setup, appears to show what some believe could be a real-life yowie moving through the forest. In the clip, a small figure can be seen gently swaying side to side, lit by the eerie glow of the camera's night vision. Even though it looks small, the shape closely matches descriptions often associated with yowie sightings over the years. And the eyes reflecting brightly in the light make the moment even more unsettling. What stands out is that it doesn't seem aware of the camera at all. The people who shared the footage are known for their interest in yowie sightings. They had intentionally left apples out as bait, and it appears that effort may have worked. What they recorded adds another mysterious piece to the growing stories surrounding the yowie.
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.